Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rimworld. I am Daily Comb, as you all well know. Uh, Today, or last time, what we did was we went over kind of some stuff that I had done while I wasn't recording, which was quite a lot because I wanted to expand our flooring, and that was quite boring, so I didn't. That was a rhyme. That's pretty funny. Uh, anyway, and I just didn't want to subject you guys to that. We also went over bedrooms, and I created some bedrooms here. I think I also made the hospital last part and this structure, this sculpture here. So yeah, this time we're going to be going over a couple of things, some things that I did while I wasn't recording this time, which wasn't as much as last time, but you might have already spotted some things that look a little bit off compared to last time. Also, what we're going to be looking into is resources, and we're going to be looking into getting our economy going finally, and so we can really start making money. So this is going to be the money making part, how to really make money and what are some good ways to do that. I guess I'll go over. Okay, so yeah, without further ado, let's get started. First, I'll go over what changed. So um, based on the things that I added, we needed more power, so I just put the geothermal generator down, the one that was needed that I could put on the steam geyser, and I just hooked it up with power, as you can see here. And so we just have a lot more power running through this. Uh, 2 to 3 geothermal generators will usually get you to the end of the game, so we might not need much more power. If we need more and I want to put down a geothermal generator, I'm thinking I'm going to use this steam geyser over here because it's closest to the base. I think it's the closest one that I can see. And so we'll be using that again, and we'll just fortify, we'll build a wall around it basically so that no smart Alex can come and destroy it. So yeah, let's get right to it. So I'm gonna go over some good some resources that you need to be looking out for in the mid game. So first off, another thing is you can see I shrunk this cornfield. Um, you might notice that it took a lot of time to do that. I think it was like, it might have been fall, end of fall when I stopped. Well, after that, toxic fallout came and lasted a week again, and so that really hindered my progress in building this structure. Oh yeah, I didn't really go over the structure here, so let's do that first. So what I did is I built what's I like to call the panic room, and this is where I send colonists that aren't in my military if the raid is really bad. Um, so if I really need if like the raid is so bad that I'm really losing, I'll just send colonists in here. Some things that you're going to want to build in this room are as follows. One thing is a nutrient paste dispenser. This is really important. This will really efficiently create food for your colonists. It'll create this paste that will last them a very long time. And basically, you just put some food in there, and the dispenser will create this nutrient paste that will, yeah, help help create a help them. How would I say this? That will, I don't know, help them not starve, I guess. Okay, so the other thing is I have batteries in here. I have backup batteries. It's good to put these in a room that's very secure like this one. As you can see, I have 4 walls on each side, a lot of them granite, not so much on these sides, but especially on this side that is exposed to the outside world. I have it. I have 4 walls of granite wall, so nothing's getting through that. This is a very secure wall. I even have a granite door, so that's really helpful. Um, yes, so batteries will fill up with excess electricity that you produce, which we're producing a lot of excess. So as you can see when we look at grid, it says excess here and stored. So this is our excess electricity. This is how much we have stored. Don't have a lot stored right now because these 2 batteries haven't filled up yet. But essentially, this will help to save power in case there's a brownout of some sort caused by all sorts of things can cause it. Um, yeah, so this will help. Also, we're going to keep it in this room so that we can control the power from this room if there was a raid that were to happen, um, and we would be stuck in here. How do we control said power? Well, by using this thing. So it's a power switch. What this does is if we go into power, I have this hooked up in a very specific way. I screwed it up because I forgot that, they can't really build power conduits through such thick walls. So um, that's what happened. I'm going to deconstruct that actually. Um, anyway, so what I did was I was like, okay, well, how can we do this? I don't really care about. So you don't normally want power conduits just sitting in your rooms like I have it. You want them going through walls like this one is. That's why I have them going through so many walls because they're really not good for beauty. They give a really nasty beauty penalty. That's why I don't have them going through someone's bedroom floor or something. I have them going through the walls so that, they're not upset about that. But in this room, I don't really care about beauty. It can be ugly as crap. I don't care. So I sacrifice the beauty and I put them across the floors just to make it work. So how I set this up was I have the nutrient paste dispenser is connected to the main power line. This is good. I want this. I don't want this. I want this to always be running on the main power line. Same with this lamp. I want this to always be on no matter what. So it's attached to the main power line. What I don't want attached to the main power line is the batteries. So how do you do that? How do I make it so that these batteries are attached to a separate power line? I use a volt switch. I take this conduit here and I ran it up. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is all still part of the main power line until it hits the volt switch. Okay, so this is still connected to the main power line. What happens is this will run up, it'll hit the volt switch. Everything after this is now toggled to this switch. If I turn this switch off, all this will have no more electricity. This is good because once I have my batteries full of power, if I disconnect this, if something happens to the main power line, like this generator explodes or something, I'll still have some power to last me a bit until I can get that under control. So once this is full, I shut this off, and then I have all the power stored in here, and then if something happens, I turn it back on. Now, the battery will drain by 5 watts every day, so that takes 120 days to drain. So you do have to keep that in mind. Anyway, that is kind of the panic room that I've designed. It's pretty tight, cramped. I'm going to add some beds. I highly suggest you add some beds in there as well, in case they're in there for a while. So that's basically all I did. Another thing, I guess a character development that happened was I think was it Shay? Someone got married. It might have been Shay. I think it was Shay got married to that to Komodo. So that happened. Just so you know. Yeah, I think that's all that really changed. So I'm gonna go over now some resources that you're gonna need to be looking out for because these are things that if you see, you might see a trader and this trader comes and you're like, oh, but how do I know what's good and what's not? I'll tell you what's good. So one thing that's good to look out for is Glitter World Medicine. That's really good for surgeries if you're going to be performing those later. Industrial grade medicine is really good to look out for. I can't remember. I think you can actually make industrial medicine. Yeah, medicine production. You need I think you need the drug lab in order to produce medicine, but it's quite expensive. So keep that in mind. Um, Another thing to look out for is stone blocks like marble and stuff when you're creating structures in your base like this one. If I was really anal, I would, and I could recommend you guys doing this. Tear down all your wood wall, which would be a pain in the ass, and replace it with marble to make it more beautiful. You can do that if you want. I'm not going to do that because look at all the wood wall we have. I don't want to waste my time. Maybe if I was taking this super seriously, I would. But another thing is components. Components are really important. Components are important. Let's see where I can find some. I have some up there. Um, Components are really important because you need them for building any sort of electronic. Also, if electronics break, here they are, you'll need a component to replace it usually. Uh, Plasteel is also really important. This will be important for creating weapons, as we'll see probably next part. We'll make a lot more weapons and other advanced structures like the ship. So plasteel is really important to look out for. Advanced components, again, very important. I have 13 right now because I've just been getting them through trade. I suggest you get them earlier rather than later. You'd rather have them now than not have them in the future. And then, of course, silver. Silver is important for creating. Uh, Silver is important for creating, sterile tile like we have here. But more importantly, silver is important for trading. You want to buy all that precious stuff. So make sure if you see silver in your mountainsides that you go mine that out. Okay. One thing that we're gonna want to start to do is we're going to want to start to make some really good animal, uh, or not animal. We're going to start, we need to start to make some really good plants that we can sell. So these are known as cash crops. And we're going to start to plant them over here because the space is kind of taken up. We could also plant it in here if we wanted, but I like to have it close to the warehouse. So yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to first create a growing zone, and I'll go over some of the. We'll just do a 7 by 7 for now. We can make it. You can make it bigger if you want. I'm just going to do 7 by 7 for now. Um, so what we can put in here is we can start making something called Devil's Strand. You need a minimum skill level of 10 for your growers in order to do this. I think Arvid must be like level 10 by now. Yeah, he's like 13. We have some really skilled growers, so that won't be a problem. And Devil Strand is really good. So it's really important to make that because it sells for a lot of money. But Devil's Strand, so it's this mushroom that you can use to make really high-end fabric. Um, so the high-end fabric's really good for armor. If you want to be making, different pieces of clothing that are more resistant to melee attacks, Devil Strand's really good. Chances are you're going to be having a lot of it because you're going to be growing it. So important stuff. Um, so there's like Synthread and I can't remember. It's like it's the stuff that you get from those like really mythical ancient things. Those thrombos, yeah, that the fur that they have, those are really high end fabrics, and so yeah, you're going to want to watch out for those fabrics as well if you see them. Okay, another thing you're going to want to plant that's really good for selling is psychoid. Psychoid plant. Where is it? You need a minimum skill of 6. Psychoid plant is really important because you're going to be making cocaine with it. I'm not even joking. We're going to be making cocaine this episode. So yeah, you're going to want to. Well, I'm going to at least have it set up. I'm not necessarily going to have made it, but I'll show you how to set up so that you can make it. That's a really good thing to make as well. And then the last crop that I would highly recommend um, for growing for your economy to sell is smoke leaf, which is weed. Weed is good too. Sells for quite a bit, and it's pretty low maintenance. You can look up on the wiki. There's a really good table that tells you what is the most profitable drugs, what drugs take the most work and stuff like that. So you can make beer and you can make meth You can make cocaine. You can make all sorts of stuff. But I suggest making cocaine, weed, and devil strand. I think those are the best things to sell. I think that the market value for cocaine is the market value for cocaine is 21 bucks, 21 silver. Market value for meth is 14 silver. So you're gonna have more. You make both from the same crop, which is the psychoid plant, but cocaine sells for more. So I would just say, my personal opinion, always make cocaine over meth. That's just me. If you want to make meth, go ahead. Um, so yeah, we're going to make that. Um, what are some other things that you're going to want to make? I guess I can go over other drugs that you can make. If we look in the research tab, I've already researched them. There's stuff called there's psycho. Oh, so this is where you make cocaine and stuff. Yayo flake. There's wake up production. This will make wake up. Um, this will make go juice. This will make penicillin. I personally, I think it takes a lot to make wake up, and it takes a lot to make go juice. So I don't personally, like it requires a lot of work to achieve that. So I don't personally use it. I won't personally be planting it. Also, you can use it on your own colonists, and it'll give them performance increases. So like Go Juice, I think, let's see, produce Go Juice, a synthetic compound performance enhancing drug, which improves shooting, melee, and movement ability, and dulls pain. So this would be something you'd give to your soldiers. It's basically morphine, is Go Juice. That's this game's version of morphine. Then there's Wake Up, work performance enhancing drug, which replaces a need for sleep. Uh, that sounds like meth or cocaine to me, but anyway, that would be something that you would give a worker. Problem is, this is highly addictive stuff, and you're all going to have like addictions, and it's just not worth it in the long run. So I don't suggest it. I really don't suggest it. Penicillin, though, I would suggest you make penicillin if you are in a biome that has a lot of disease. So if you're in like the tropical rainforest, tropical swamp, you should probably make penicillin because you're going to be dealing with a lot of different diseases and such. I haven't had to deal with a lot of disease, so I'm not going to be making it, but I thought I would mention them. So that's great. I can plant all my drugs and everything, but how do I produce said drugs? Well, it's pretty simple. Take this drug lab here, and we're going to build it. And then once they finish building it, I will go over what you do. So we're going to shortly unpause the game here, and yeah. Actually, before we do that, before we unpause the game, I'm just trying to look for a stool here. Okay. Before we unpause the game, I'd like to mention that you should have an electric smelter. That's another important thing to produce, to have handy. Yes, an electric smelter, because I will put it here for purpose of, there's actually a component already there. And the reason that is because you can actually take steel slag chunks and you can melt them down into steel. But the problem is you won't really get a lot of steel from it, but it's a good backup. So yeah, keep that in mind. It shouldn't be your main way of getting steel, but it often, it can be a good backup for it. Okay, so let's actually start this up here and see what happens. My guys have gotten really good at building and such, so and this guy's already producing Devil Strand over here. Takes a long time to grow. Actually, 5.2% grow. Yeah, I think it is really slow growing though, actually. So you'll see 5.3 now. It takes a long time. So keep that in mind as well. It's like heel root. I think it's even slower than heel root though. So, however, Psychite is a bit more. Psychoid plant is a bit faster, and I think Smoke Leaf is the fastest. So now, if you remember, I set up the freezer to accept. Is it raw resources? Plant matter. You're going to want your plant matter in your freezer and not in your warehouse because plant matter will does need to be frozen or else it'll go bad. I need wood. Go chop down some trees, guys. Come on. I ordered them to chop down trees, but they're doing other stuff too. Autocannon turret is done. I I've researched so much that like I don't even know what to research anymore. I haven't researched pemmican yet, dude. What the heck? Research that. That's gonna take like 2 seconds to research. Yeah, we have a lot of food, as you can tell, but we also have a lot of animals. So, yeah. All right. I'm sad that Muffalo no longer produce milk because they used to, and it was a really good uh, way of getting milk over time. I don't know, like I guess cows and stuff still produce milk, I would hope. But yeah, you used to be able to milk Muffalos, and now you can't. I guess it's like Dwarf Fortress where you used to. Oh, this already broke. Another thing though is we can actually turn this off now because this is full. And so this should mean that this won't be connected to anything. So self-discharging 5 watts. Yeah, so we see grid excess and stored. We just have stored. So yeah, this on this grid here, um, we just have stored electricity. Stupid freaking nutrient paste dispenser broken down after like nothing. That was weird. I need so much wood because I need to replace all my traps. We had a really vicious raid came in here. Still have some dead bodies actually. Let's build a couple more of these, I guess. Research finished pemmican. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's research smoke pop belts. I don't even know what to research anymore. Like, sure, beer brewing. That sounds good. Sounds good, I guess. Honestly, with this strategy, it's been working so well. Like, we had this really terrible raid, and as you can see, this is how many traps we used in this one raid, and I didn't have to fire a single shot before they were retreating. So, this strategy works really well for raids. Doesn't work nearly as well for sieges because they're going to be like over here mortaring you to death. And so that's not fun. Oh, why are you guys still doing this? I don't want you guys to do this anymore. Here, I'll wait till you finish. And then I don't need you guys to do that anymore. Go do other stuff, more important things. Okay. So yeah, we'll just let them rebuild the traps and other things. Traps are great, but when you have as many as I do, it's kind of a pain in the ass because you have, you know, so many to refill all the time. That's why I highly suggest that you make wooden ones because you don't want to be carving out stone all the time. Another thing is you might be thinking, oh, I should have, granite doors everywhere just for the added security. Well, the reason I wouldn't suggest that is because um, granite doors take a really long time to open. What? Why is this a gather spot? It's not. Why did you eat there? I thought that they didn't. I guess they do. Whatever. That's not a gather spot. That's not a gather spot. Okay. Okay, so now that we have our drug lab here, we can add a bill. And we can make penicillin. So you need... Oh man, this is actually quite expensive because you need Neutromane, which I think you get from... We can actually check. I think you get this from just... You can only get that through trade. And then you produce penicillin from that. So that's penicillin you can make. You can make 4 of them. Oh, cool. You can actually make times 4 now. You weren't always able to make that. Medicine's important. So you can make, you need 1 herbal medicine. See, again, you need this Neutramine and cloth. That's quite expensive. So I prefer to buy it myself. And that's why I'm always setting these guys, if you noticed, to only use herbal medicine, and they've been fine. So just set them to use herbal medicine. I've saved this from the start of the game. I only use this in case they have an infection. Um, so just keep that in mind. What? I didn't mean for you guys to deconstruct that. I wanted you to deconstruct that. Okay, anyway. So you can make smoke gleat. This is weed. Again, wake up. So, okay. We're going to make... Our main priority is to make cocaine because cocaine sells for a lot. And we're going to make smoke leaf. You can do that forever. So those are the 2 things that we're going to make right now. How many crafters do we have? So a couple of things that affect drug synthesis. I think crafting does. I think research does too. So you'll see it's like drug synthesis speed. It'll say like this is what it affects. Oops. Did I accidentally copy that? What did I do? Copy to the clipboard. Oh, okay. So if I look here, you should see something on drug synthesis speed. Let's try this. See this skill. Yeah, intellectual. The main skill used for performing this procedure determines the quality of the result and the learn. Yeah, so you're going to want people with high intellect to do drug synthesis. So yeah, we have a couple people. I'm going to make 1 more bench here. 1 more drug synthesis bench. Just because then we'll be producing drugs even faster. But that's all that's to it. What I would say though is not everybody's going to buy drugs. So there's a couple ways that you're going to be able to that you're going to want to sell your drugs. One way is if, traders come and they're like, "Oh, yeah, please give me your cocaine." And there's a lot of traders that want to buy cocaine. Um, Lots of people like cocaine. It's very popular. That's why it's a good cash crop. Uh, it's a good thing to use this crop on, and it sells for quite a bit, and you can make a lot of it. So yeah, it's good. But what if you need money now and there's no traders nearby? What do you do? Well, that's where your muffalo come in. Drug trafficking, essentially. So you can do drug and human trafficking in this game. So what happens is, I produce cocaine, and then I say, okay, I'm going to set up a caravan. I'm going to take some of my muffalo with me. We're going to take these muffalo and we're going to go out into the wilderness, and we're going to go find a faction on the map. Psychoid brewing is done. Okay. Fine. Do goat juice production, whatever. If we go into world, and we can actually see, well, what we do is we say we want to go from here to here, and I want to sell my drugs there. So then you sell your drugs there, and works out. So you set up a caravan, put all your drugs on board, send it over, sell it there, and come back. And you can do the same thing with human beings. So it's pretty messed up, but it's pretty cool. Gray has gotten food poisoning. Some incompetent cook. Great. Food poisoning is really terrible, and it can come about in two different ways. It's just really annoying. It can come about from you having a dirty cooking area, which I don't. It's very sterile, or incompetent cooks. So how long is this going to take? It's at 18%. 20%. Okay. What time are we at? We're at 32 minutes. Okay. Well, I showed you guys how to do drug synthesis and stuff like that. Uh, it's not nearly as long of a part as the last one, 3.5 hours. But I think we're going to end off the video here. I just wanted to show you, yeah, how to get your economy going, how to make money. Uh, I guess I could go over a couple other things, a couple other ways to make money. One way is to produce statues. If you have a really good craftsman artist, if we look at art bench, we say grand sculpture. Wait, yeah, grand sculpture, and we look at it. Um, Skill is artistic. If you have really good art people, like this guy's actually really good. Like this person, you can start making grand sculptures out of like marble. Again, make it out of marble. Make sure you do that, and they'll sell for a lot of money. So that's another good way to make money. Last way I think I'll go over is to uh, sell human beings. So if you have raiders and you capture them and you make these into prison cells, you just keep them in there. Don't recruit them. Some guy will come and buy them from you. Usually a slaver or a pirate will come and buy those from you. Other than that, you can human traffic just like you would drug traffic. Take them over somewhere else and sell them. So that's basically how you can do that. Yeah, so those are some really good ways to make money in this game. It'll become very important later when you're buying ship parts and stuff to make your ship in order to escape. I already have all the ship parts researched, as you can tell. Um, these are all the ship parts here. So yeah, once you have the ship done, or sorry, I'm not getting into that right now. Uh, Once you have a bunch of different things that you can sell, you're making silver, you can buy components, all those resources that I went over before, you can obtain by getting a good economy going. And yeah. Oh, another good thing to get is gold. You'll need gold for royal beds and also parts of the ship. So make sure you're looking out for that as well. If you have gold sitting around places, mine it out. Um, a technique that works well for me is something called strip mining, and it's where, like, let's say I don't know what's in here. I don't know what's in the middle of this, so a good way to find out is to do this. It's strip mining. So then you'll actually be able to see by doing this exactly how I've done it throughout the entire thing. You'll be able to see all minerals on every side of your of this like mountain or whatever it is, this hill. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay, yeah, I think that'll be it for this part. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And yeah, if you have enjoyed this part, give me a like if you want, or a comment. If you have any questions, please give me a comment. I'll try to get back to you. And yeah, so I hope you're enjoying this guide. This is the way that I play RimWorld. Other people, that's what's so great about this game. So many people have so many different ideas on how to play. I play it very, I don't know, I have an efficiency focus, as you can tell by my layout and everything, but yeah, some people they build some really incredible bases. They, look really appealing. This doesn't look very appealing, I'll be honest. It's not very beautiful, but I can look back at this and go, wow, I made that. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, what was once a plan is now looks like this. So, uh, yeah, I hope you guys continue to watch, and next time we'll go over guns and stuff. So that'll be interesting. So, see you guys next time.